Yo, what's going on, guys? And of course, we gotta get moving with these offseason recaps. I have been lacking, my apology, but next week we will be doing the season previews for every team. But today we'll be talking about the Houston Rockets and what they did this offseason, which I thought was a great offseason. Obviously, last offseason was a huge one where they moved off of Steven Silas, spent money, brought in Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, and the boys. But this offseason, with the trades that they made, with the things that they did, I really like it. I think this team is taking the steps that need to be taken to go ahead and try to make a step towards being a play-in or even a playoff team. Now, let's get right to it. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of the Houston Rockets? What did you guys think of the moves this offseason? Now, real quickly, they do have all three two-way spots filled with Jack McVee, Nate Williams, and N'Faly Dante, with Jermaine Samuels and Nate Hinton on Exhibit 10s. My expectations, those guys will be competing with Jack McVee for the final two-way contract, and then the other two will be put on the G League team. Now, AJ Griffin, I thought was a great pickup for basically nothing for a reclamation project of a former first-round pick that was in the doghouse of Quinn Snyder. But when he was playing for Nate McMillan, he was up there shooting 40% from three at like 10 points a night. I really like the kid. He's 6'5", with a 7-foot wingspan, son of an NBA player and a former NBA coach, AJ Griffin. Now, Reed Sheppard being the heir apprentice of the point guard position, with Fred VanVleet being his mentor. Chef's kiss, that's perfect. Reed Sheppard, like Fred VanVleet, is a guy who can play make and facilitate, but he's not naturally an elite facilitator, similar to Fred VanVleet. But Fred VanVleet, over the years, became a really good facilitator and a really good passer, and it was a guy who eventually, has shown that he can almost average like 8-9 assists a game, which I think Reed Sheppard can follow a similar development plan. Now, the rest of the roster, let's get right into it. You see what it is. They have all 15 guys. They brought back Aaron Holiday. They have Jock Landale. They, in that trade during the before the deadline, they brought in Steven Adams. And I think the roster is set, like we said. Starting lineup: Shagun, Smith, Jabari, Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet. Then they're going to probably have Amen Thompson, Reed Sheppard. Jae'Sean Tate could get pushed out by either AJ Griffin, Cam Whitmore, or Tari Eason. Same thing with Jeff Green, and same thing with Steven Adams with Jock Landale. So we'll see how that plays out. But let's just go ahead and just talk about this team and what I like. First, the fact that they took the calculated risk of trading back Brooklyn its 2025 first round pick and then eliminating the swap rights in 2026. The trade resulted in Houston picking up 4 key draft assets, ESPN rights, including an unprotected 2027 first round pick from Phoenix and the more favorable of the Phoenix Suns or Dallas Mavericks first round pick in 2029, meaning they can choose which one they want. Now, this offseason, Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green become extension eligible. That's something that we're still waiting to watch. They can sign $224 million over 5 years. Now, who's gonna get it? Neither have made All-Stars, but Sengun averaged a career high 21 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1.5 steals, and he's averaged 15 points in the paint this season, which was 5th in the most in the NBA. And during the 11-game win streak in March, Jalen Green was averaging 30 points while shooting 50% from the field and 45% from three. Yeah. So, what do we have a predicament here? Neither of these guys have become all-star players, but again, Jalen Green has averaged 22 points one season, and then the following season, he averaged 19.6. But if you look post All-Star break, this was a 23-point per game scorer on 44% from the field, 37% from three, 6 rebounds. All right, 4 assists a night with a steal a game. It's absurd what Jalen Green was doing. So I think this offseason, again, as we looked at it, I think it was, we were looking at the position. We're like, okay. We're trying to get this team to be better. But are you going to dedicate $225 million to each of these guys? And I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're worthy of money. But you also, will Jabari Smith eventually get paid? It becomes a whole thing of, how do we figure out the best way to go about putting together a list of players who can just really do not an amendable job, but like what I'm trying to put together here is, this is a team that we need to start figuring out the contracts. We need to figure out who's going to stay long term. Like, obviously, we know Jae'Sean Tate, Jeff Green, and Steven Adams are guys not going to be here long term. But All right, if you pull those guys out, now your second unit is Cam Whitmore. You pull those three dudes out. It's Jock Landale, Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, Reed Sheppard, and Ben Thompson as your second unit. And you've gotten very young there. But Alperen Sengun, if you bump this up, now you're paying him, what, 5 years, $225 million? It's over 4. That's almost like $50 million a year, almost like 40 something a year. And the same thing for Jalen Green. It's a tough pill to swallow. So if you can get one cheaper, and the whole thing is neither have been all-stars. So I think this year some people might be like, well, they didn't really do much in free agency. They didn't do much with money. It's because they are fully aware that this offseason was setting them up to figure out who is most important on their roster, who is going to be here long term, and who they want to give money to. Because they knew if they spent money this offseason, unless it was money that they were going to use for like a 1-year deal, or like what they did with Aaron Holiday. They knew that they couldn't do that because they needed to keep cap flexibility for the future, with this team having their two arguably best young players become available for extensions. So I think that is the biggest part in this. I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think and why? I am always amazed by how it's just gone down, as it's definitely one of the more interesting aspects, I would say. Or yeah, from this year. But what do you guys think? And let me know your opinions in the comment section. I think the more and more we get closer to this being the regular season, I think the more questions we'll have regarding, is this a roster that's really trying to compete this year? Or are we still a year away from that due to the fact that they are where, hey, we got to find out how we're going to address the construction of this roster. And besides that, I think that's it. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. That's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. But, yeah, I'm also -6. Okay. Supposedly, yep. If I locked this now at 6, so it shouldn't go over 6, but who knows? Who knows? This is it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like, subscribe, do all that good jazz. Ciao, everybody.